What's up, guys? Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today we've got a very different style of content for you. We're going to tell you exactly how you can keep from getting screwed the next time you buy a new or a pre-owned vehicle, but this video is primarily going to be focused around new, and the reason for that is because we are a new Ford dealership located out of Alabama. We've got a location in Bessemer, Alabama, and another location in Pell City, Alabama, but this video is intended to learn to you something, as we say in Alabama. We are hoping to teach you some skills, even if you're not going to be buying a vehicle from our dealership, because I've been in the business for quite some time. Since 1999, I've been at this dealership. So yeah, that's a long time if you want to do that math. But I want to teach you some of the things that I've learned from some of the salespeople that are the best out there and what they use as far as sales tactics. But I also want to show you some of the things that, and thank goodness we've gotten rid of their butts, some of these salespeople that have come into the dealership and have left because they are not a good fit for here. Because the way we believe in doing business is treating every customer like our best customer. We don't believe in screwing our customers. That's the reason that a long time ago, we were one of the very first people on the planet to offer all of the Bronco orders at MSRP. Same thing goes for pretty much across the board. And so I am excited to jump into this video, and we're going to use a 2023 Ford F-150 that's actually here on the lot to show you how to keep from getting screwed when you go in to buy that particular vehicle. So the first things first is make sure you know what you're getting into. The first thing I want to talk about is what dealership are you choosing to do business with? There's a couple of different things and a couple of different ways that you can do that. If you are looking for a Ford dealership, you would want to see how many times have they won the President's Award. President's Award is an award that is awarded to the top 5 or 10% of all of the dealerships in the nation based on customer satisfaction for sales and service. So it's a great indicator of not how perfect they are, because nobody's perfect, but how much they actually care about you as a customer after the sale. To me, that means a lot. The other thing that I like to look at is, and maybe this is because this is how we operate, family owned and family operated. I like the dealerships that you're supporting a small company, a small family owned and family operated dealership. The reason I'm so big into that is just because I think that small business, just in general, is the backbone of America. And if you can support a small business versus one of these massive groups, I think that's a big win. The other thing that you can do to make sure you're choosing the right dealership is to actually look at the Google reviews, look at Bing reviews, look at Yelp reviews, dealerrater.com. That's another one. There's a lot of different ways. And I tell you, if you see a lot of the exact same thing out of one particular dealer, that is your telltale sign that you might want to stay away from them. Now, we're not perfect. We don't have a 5 out of 5 star survey on Google because we've made a mistake once or twice. What I'm interested in looking at, if I'm you, is I'm looking for how attentive is that dealership to actually taking care of the issue. So if an issue arises, that's not what makes a dealership good or bad. What makes them good or bad is how do they respond to that particular issue that comes up, because things are going to happen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into one of the ways that you can make sure you're not getting screwed when it comes to the pricing of the vehicle. So as you can see for this particular example, we have a 2023 F-150 window sticker right here. This is an actual vehicle that we have for sale on our lot right now, and you can actually take a look at that. This is not a sales pitch. Don't think that this is. I'm just using this as, this is not like a customer's vehicle. This is an actual real vehicle that is for sale right now that I'm making this particular video. So a couple of different things. I like to make sure that you completely understand what you're getting with the vehicle. And on a Ford window sticker, all of your options, your bones, the structure of the vehicle is going to be located up here in this top area. Now, this is printed in black and white. I apologize, my printer was out of color ink, but in a normal window sticker, this would either be blue if it's a stock unit or green if it was a retail order unit. So this area right in here, that is going to be the bones of the vehicle. Talks about what it is. It's a 23 F-150 two-wheel drive Super Crew. It's got this engine, it's got this wheelbase, got this color, it's got this interior color. Pretty simple stuff, right? Now, this area right in here, from here to here, actually is the standard equipment that is included at no extra cost built into the vehicle itself. And so you can itemize every single thing that comes with that, and you can kind of see what's going on. This is a pretty comprehensive list. Just keep in mind that not every single thing that is on the vehicle will show up on the window sticker because there's simply not enough space to put it all. Now, the next thing I want to look at is there's two areas right here. So you've got this area right in here. This is the equipment group on the vehicle. Now, this particular vehicle is an XLT, and that means it is a 302A equipment group. That's what that number is right there. For For an XLT, you might have a 300, 301, and a 302 equipment group. The higher the number, the more options that are built into the vehicle as an equipment group. It's a group of options that they group together. More on that here in just a second. Now, the other thing that I want to show you just below that, these are your standalone a la carte options that you'll find on this particular vehicle. And those are itemized right here with specific pricing right next to them. Now, when you look at all of that together, you can see the base price. This particular situation has a base price of $47,750. That's the MSRP of the vehicle. Plus you have additional options and other charges to the vehicle. Those are the different things that we found in this equipment group savings and also the options down here. That's what, $88.60 in this particular situation. So you can see the total vehicle and options that comes in right there. Then you have destination delivery on top of that. And then this is where most people really get confused. Is the discounts and the pricing and all that kind of stuff is coming up with these bottom three lines that we have right here. In this situation, it's $58,505. But you also have an XLT High, Chrome, or Sport Appearance Package discount of $2,000, which means it brings the grand total MSRP to that $56,505. The reason that most people get that confused is they may or may not realize that the discounts that are included on your vehicle, almost every dealership in the entire United States uses this number up here. A lot of dealerships will call that top sticker. What that basically means is that the dealership and Ford Motor Company optioned and ordered this vehicle very strategically, and they said, okay, if you do this particular package, we'll give you an extra $2,000 worth of savings right off the top for packaging it the way that you have. And so almost every single dealer in the nation, when they're comparing the MSRP price to the discounted price, is going to use that $58,505 as your top sticker, your total, grand total MSRP. Now that you've kind of seen how all of this is laid out on the window sticker, let's take a look at an actual application as far as a buyer's order or a buyer's, whatever you want to call it, a purchase agreement. There's a lot of different names for that. And that is showing right here. Now we've got a fictitious customer loaded up in here, Mr. Donnie Taylor, with a fake number and a fake address. So don't worry about trying to call that number. It's not going to get you anywhere. But anyway, so what we've got here is we've got the VIN number, as you can see right here, and that actually matches the actual window sticker that we're looking at. And so since we know that matches, all right, this particular vehicle has 526 miles on it. That's because this vehicle was an FCTP vehicle. Now, that's probably a video for another day, but that is the Ford Courtesy Transportation Program. Basically, Ford allows us to put brand new vehicles into the loaner program. We use that to take care of customers if they have a service concern or they need an oil change and they need a car for the day. That's why that vehicle has 500 miles, is because we're letting our best customers utilize those if they were to get into a pinch. And so you can see the color of the vehicle and you can see the body type. Now, these are the numbers that you'll find from our dealership, but not everybody presents numbers the exact same way. Some of these old school car dog dealers, they'll use what's called Foursquare. I am not a big fan of Foursquare because I feel like it's that shell game, hide the P. And the idea behind the Foursquare is you want, as a salesperson, if you're trying to make as much money as you can on the deal, you want to try and isolate that customer on one of four areas, whether it's the price of the vehicle or the trade value or the cash down or the payment, or whatever the situation is. You want that customer to focus in, and at the end of the day, you always want them to be focused on the payment, because that's a way that you can basically hide the details of the cost of the vehicle. And the reason we don't do that is because we want to give our customers a full breakdown of the pricing of the vehicle. Now, we might also have a payment option on the page as well, but we never hide the actual pricing of the vehicle. We always itemize it for the customer's clarity's sake, so that way there's no, well, I didn't know you were charging me for that. So let's kind of dive into these particular numbers. And before I dive into the actual printed numbers, most dealerships, myself included, because I've worked as a sales consultant, sales manager for a long time. I've done pretty much every job inside of a dealership that you can pretty much imagine. But what I always do is I always like for the customer to see the total discounts that they are receiving on that particular vehicle. And in this situation, you can see that the MSRP of the vehicle, once again, the top sticker, that number right here, that 58,505 is the MSRP of the vehicle itself. Now, between the equipment group savings and the dealer discounts, it's been discounted to $52,884. And in this particular situation, there's actually $500 of rebates in this particular vehicle. Now, keep in mind that sometimes you'll have rebates that are tied to different things. In this situation, you have to finance it through Ford Motor Credit Company. That's what the FMCC stands for. That's the way that we kind of disclose that, is you have to finance it through Ford using their rates. Now, the good news is there is no prepayment penalty. You can always pay it off early if you want to, or refinance it. It's simple interest. There's no prepayment penalty. But basically what it boils down to is $58,505 is your MSRP. The discounts brings you to this, and then your total sale price of the vehicle is $52,384 plus your tax, title, fees, and accessories. Okay, that's why do we write plus tax, title, fees, and accessories? We want you to know what you're getting the vehicle for before any accessories were added, before any lift kits were added, before anything that might be included there. That's the way that I always like to do it. And so you might be thinking, well, what is the taxes and the fees and the title? Well, that's the reason we print everything else out on the side so you can see a full disclosure of what the pricing is. And what you're looking at over here, $58,505, your selling price, the $52,884, which matches the price over here. So that's the redundant price. You've got your $500 rebate that, as we've already talked about, is required to finance it through Ford. And then, all right, so now we're going to get into some of the fees. And I'm going to cover the fees that are bogus, and I'm going to cover some of the fees that are, in my opinion, legitimate. So first things first is $16.50. That is the state of Alabama title application fee. If you live in the state of Alabama and you buy the vehicle from us, I have to charge that to you legally. I have to do it because that's the title application fee. Now, the next thing is you have a PROC or a doc fee, some dealerships call it. Our dealership, in full disclosure, has a $498 doc fee. It's not the highest out there. It's not the lowest out there. Now, you have some dealerships that say, well, our dealership is better than yours because we don't charge a doc fee. Well, it doesn't matter if the bottom line is the same. If you're buying a vehicle that lists for $58,505 and you're out the door, which by the way in this situation is $57,586, there's more to that we need to cover. But if you have another dealership that's selling you the same options, the same everything for the same bottom line, who cares if it's a little bit's in a doc fee and who cares if there is no doc fee? What you want to compare are the bottom line numbers, the out the door in the business is what we call it. And so in this situation, $498 doc fee, we've had some situations where customers say, well, I'm not paying that $498 doc fee. Well, I mean, we might be able to discount that vehicle another $498, but we always leave that doc fee on the paperwork. And the reason we do that is for consistency. I don't ever want somebody saying, well, you charged me a doc fee, but you didn't charge him. You must like him more than you like me. We don't have to worry about that. So instead, you just might reduce the sale price a little bit more. Anyways, moving right along, we've got accessories right here of $25.89. Well, what is that? Make sure that you get this stuff itemized. If there's any other unscrupulous, options or accessories, something you don't want, you need to know about it on the front end. We fully disclose everything with window sticker addendums and all that kind of stuff, because in this situation, we've got nitrogen in the tires, which is $100. We've got window tint for $299, and then we also have luxury leather for $14.95, and this one also has a spray-in bed liner that's fully warranted as well, and that's $695. So if you add up every single one of those, that comes up to that total accessory amount of $25.89. Now, please keep in mind that there are dealers that will add in scrupulous or unscrupulous. I don't know. I'm not that fancy with my words, but I'm from Alabama, leave me alone. But sometimes they'll add in a low jack. They'll do VIN etching, or I call it mop and slop, basically, where they will throw in extra undercoatings that don't really do anything. Those are the accessories that I am not a big fan of. I like being able to tangibly put my hands on a spray and bed liner. I like to be able to tangibly put my hands on leather that's been upgraded. It went from cloth to leather from the factory. So I'm okay with those types of accessories. Obviously, I'm okay with, full-blown lift kits, TC Customs, shameless plug. But just know what kind of accessories you're paying for. Don't just sign up and they say, well, we can't take that accessory off. Well, you have two options at that point. If you don't want that option, you need to walk away from the vehicle, you need to negotiate it, or you just need to pay for it. That's three, I can't count. But you kind of get the idea. Don't just assume that that's all you can do. I mean, you have the choice to say no. you also have the choice to go find a different vehicle. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now you'll notice this particular vehicle has a trade-in allowance of 0, meaning I'm not trading a vehicle in on this, which would be a shame because if you look at what Ford calls their Smart Vincent, you actually have that $500 rebate that I was talking about just a second ago, but you'll also notice that there is a $1,000 rebate located right here, and that is a retail trade-in assistance. And the idea behind that is Ford Motor Company is actually giving the dealerships an extra $1,000 worth of rebates to use on your deal if you have a trade-in. Ford Motor Company is trying to help the dealers out with turning inventory, not just selling a new one, but also having a pre-owned one to sell at a later date and time. And so it's kind of neat that they have that. Now, there is another level of trade-in assistance that some dealerships use. We don't do it here at our dealership, but some dealers do. And I believe that it is absolutely asinine that for some dealers do this. But what it happens is they say, well, instead of a $1,000 trade-in assistance, we'll give you a $2,000 trade-in assistance, or we'll give you $3,000. And it's not extra rebates. What they're doing is they are going to hold on your trade value. The idea there is they have maybe priced the vehicle so aggressively on the front end that they can't make any money. And so what they do to try and make their money back is they'll say, okay, all right, so if this guy's going to trade in his 2009 F-150 and it's worth 30 grand, instead of giving him 30, we're going to give him 28. That's an extra 2 grand in profit that I'm going to give back to him on that trade value. All it is manipulation of the numbers. And that is the reason that I believe you really need to do this next piece, which is actually compare the different buyer's orders from 3 different sources. Some customers go ham on this and they get 18 different buyer's orders from 18 different dealerships, and then they confuse themselves into not buying a vehicle at all. What I believe in my personal life, whether it's I'm trying to get some paint work done on the outside of my house, or I'm trying to get someone to do anything for me, I think it's always smart to get 3 independent quotes. And I think there's nothing wrong with doing that here as well, is just say, hey, Town and Country Ford, can you give me your out the door best price, and also include a payment on there while you're at it? The answer that we'll give you is, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. And then do that with 2 other dealerships. And then you want to go with a combination of the dealership that has got a great reputation, a dealership that has got a lot to lose, meaning they need you to be their customer. In our situation, I've got a lot to lose because my reputation's out there on the line so hard with online, with YouTube and things like that. So you know that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, because if I don't, that would make me the biggest hypocrite on the planet, because I've been up here preaching this thing on YouTube for so many years. And so compare the quotes, compare the dealers, compare everything all in, and just get 3 quotes. Now, if you get some vast differences between some of them, you might want to maybe sprinkle in 1 or 2 more. I just don't want you to spend 100 hours talking to multiple dealerships and getting frustrated through the process, and then also wasting the salesperson's time. You know, I know some salespeople, probably are happy to have that opportunity, and some customers are like, oh, I don't really care if I waste the salesperson's time. But at the end of the day, you need to realize that your time is of value. So you might spend an extra 100 hours to shave off another $500 off of the deal. Well, how much is your time worth? I mean, if you're going to spend 100 hours to, save $500, is it really worth it? I would say no, it's not. So just don't go crazy with the number of quotes, but it is a very, very good tool to make sure you're making a right decision. The other thing that I've always believed in is that he with the most information in a negotiation always wins. And what do I mean by that? Don't walk into that dealership completely clueless. We won't screw you, but there's a lot of people that will out there. And that is the dealership that is giving all of us in the industry a bad name, a bad reputation, and I don't want that for you. So if you want a reputable dealership that has a lot to lose, give us a call. The phone number's right there on the screen. We're happy to help you with just about anything that you want. Even if you just have some generic questions, we're honored to help you, because I learned a long time ago, if we can just help enough people, you'll never have to worry about money. So if you want to, give us a call. And if you don't want to, that's fine. I do ask for one huge favor. If you made it this far in the video, is hit that like button, because it helps make this content, make it to other people that really need to see it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video. Peace.